100%. Let's not forget there is still a piece of that big prize on the line as well. While it may not be the main focus because, you know, pride and hype is when it comes down to leading into the grand finals and the heats, but still, there is still stuff to gain throughout these weeks. And for Booga, Jamper, and Avery, it's about holding on to second place or pulling off something just crazy for first, which seems like a bit of a stretch, but still, nonetheless, they have played so well. Qualifier 1 and now Qualifier 2.
Yeah, and there is money on the line too. We've been talking about qualifying, we've been talking about the bottom and winning for pride. There is still prize money on the line as well. So they're definitely trying to jump up there and get a piece of that as well. Just going into...
Yeah, definitely. And teams that can do that easily, Creo, Bucky, Kanata, Jamper, Avery, Booga, right? The XSET boys, all these guys that have had a great open qualifier or qualifier week 1 leading into the second qualifier here. But as we talk about Bucky, Creo, Kanata, we're going to jump into their perspective. It's not looking good. Kanata gets tagged down really low. BBG's AJ is finally going to convert over, but I mean, Kanata is in a world of hurt here, as is Creo, okay? But they are going to be able to heal just a little bit, so they're going to be able to secure the loot here, but for a second, it wasn't looking too good.
Yeah, and they're sitting on that 15th to go from first in week 1 qualifier to now 15th in week 2 qualifier. It's a little bit crazy. We'll have to kind of see how they play this one out and kind of what went wrong there, because nothing seemingly changed, and it shows why there can be those massive jumps of consistency versus inconsistency, as we now have Macwood, Calc, and Zexro 168 above, and this is the game where I said if they're going to have a good game, it's going to be now. Look at the loot. Their center zone, they got to use their rifts, they had a zone that was close to them, they got Quinjet, so they have so much loot. They need to make something out of this game. Cal talked about how he can be a bit inconsistent, but when they're on, and right now they are.
Yeah, they've really found the switch, and they hit it on in this back half of the tournament, and just great loot all around. Good team to have nearby as well. Booga, Jamper, Avery, not one to necessarily force mid-game engagement, so I think they'll be safe for quite some time, especially since they're probably playing to continue to hold that consistent spot that they have. Reverse, Miro, and Day here, definitely on a different footing, right? Mid-game fights galore, early game fights, let them have it. They want those kind of action moments here, and it's not looking any difference here as Miro's trying to get inside the base. They're really looking to figure this one out, and it's Clarity G. No, this is a massive drop down, and what a big team to wipe out, because I believe they are just inside of the safety zone. Or we're just outside of it. I'd have to double check. No, yes, they were outside of it. So that's it for Niddle, Mikey, and Clarity. They are not qualing, not top 15 this week. Yeah, definitely. You can see Coop on the run right now, trying to get down to that low ground, literally looking to scramble here. But, I mean, Creo and Bucky, they're coming in now to back them up. And now they switch focus. They're back onto Chap, and Chap's probably not going to last very long. I mean, he's not necessarily a renowned box fighter, so this is a tough situation. He's got 3 players looking to get on top of his walls.
Yes, and then Coop's going to try and do something. The cone, though. Oh, okay. Okay, Kanata gets taken out, and that's definitely one of the stronger fighters out of all of this. Coop showing why he was the solo FNCS winner and solo DreamHack winner back-to-back. The first time anyone's ever done this, and now he has to show this skill as a solo player. And honestly, Coop didn't get the respect from the community, especially the top-tier pros like Kanata, that I would have expected. And Coop's showing why you should put some respect on his name, as he absolutely bodies Kanata, but he's now stuck in a 1v2 situation. Can he pull this off? This would be legendary. No, they're on either side.
Onto Creo.
Takes down Creo. No, so close. He almost pulls it off. That would have been massive, but maybe that's the damage they need to have Chap close this one out. Chap coming into this fight, probably the weaker fighter out of this group, but Bucky's now on the back foot with a legendary performance from Coop. He has pulled off so many big solo clutches today. It's ridiculous. Coop is insane.
Listen, Chap needs all of these points. He cannot afford to lose to Bucky right here, right now. And let's not forget, remember, they've already qualified. Like, Bucky, Kanata, and Creo don't have to worry about anything. But Chap needs this more than anything else. They need this engagement here. Ooh. Chap actually hits the shockwave shot across. So that's a big one. Bucky's down to nothing now. He goes in with a crash pad. Nice. And he bodies Bucky in the 1v1. Well played.
And there it is. They needed their shots. They needed their damage. They're in 10th place, and they confirm it, and they solidify it. We talked about it. This is a team that didn't make it into the round 3 last week in the week 1 qualifiers. So they got to have a big performance now, because if they have a similar performance next week, they're not top 15. So they're kind of securing it now. What's that? 10th place? How many points between them and below? So they're about 30 points up from the 15th place team. So you have to think that will hold, but Chap survives. He's got a decent loadout to keep trying to get a few more points, but what a big fight from Coop. 100% the star of that fight there. Hoofishy goes down in a 2v3, and then Coop almost pulls off the 1v3.
It's not. It just hasn't been Kanata's day, right? Kanata gets it from NPen and now from Coop as well.
Oh,
Tap gets concluded on there. He finally gets a race from the story of tonight's show. Yeah, definitely. We're gonna see how this one's gonna go ahead and dice up now. As Commandment, Edgy, and Scented 2 have a big task in front of them. Remember, all these players are not necessarily safe, but more importantly, they have so much riding on this because they need these qualifications. They didn't have the luxury of qualing through last week, and they're in the same boat as Who Fishy, Coop, and Chap. Like, they're literally up there in the 130s. And I mean, why it might feel like they're completely safe, you know, it's not over till it's over. So still, big games need to be put out from them. Big games needs to be concluded from Calculators, Zexro, and Macwood as well. These are teams that are very much there, but not all the way there. You have Oliver and crew. You have Narwhal's team as well.
Yeah, the team that I had big hopes for, Cease, Furious, and Blake, just inside there as well, 11th place. So there's some big names up here who just aren't kind of finding their purchase. In top 15, it's top half of the lobby. And when you have the players of this caliber, not everyone can fit in there, as Commandment trying to get his shots from behind. And we haven't really seen a zone pull this direction around Dirty Dogs. There's a lot of builds here, a lot to hide behind, but it's really going to favor those teams that are good at playing those close quarter engagements, like Scented, Edgy, and Commandment are doing right now. Just finding those angles, getting those builds, and controlling it, and just trying to keep players away from your walls, and just remembering what are yours. Because I'm waiting for a play to kind of sneak in with a crash pad or even inside someone's old tarp and really open these fights up. Pretty good rotate. They don't get split too far, and that's the issue right now. A lot of players like talking about how there's a lot of solo rotation in this trio meta. There's no launch pads, there's no rift to goes. All the rotation is more solo based, but the teams that have been able to adapt to that and find out those little strategies like that with the stare, just to kind of channel the team and keep them together, are the ones that are playing really consistency with these items. As Except and that get onto front side, but they've gone really low, Monster. If this zone goes back up, they put themselves in a pretty risky position.
Yeah, and Furious, Blake, and Cease are down there as well. A team that is in that top 10 that needs to stay there. As you can see, Crumbler falls there to Except. Except's going to find a nice second frag already. Up above them, Saf still alive here, trying to chip away at placement points here too. I don't see Zexro, or I don't see Zate or Stretch nearby. Oh, yes, Zate is still alive. Here's Stretch. 1 HP on Stretch. My gosh, yes, the shot's going to go through. He's going to get taken out. Instantly thirsted as well. Was that from Calc? So Calc needed that point. That was big.
They've had a big day, though. They've done really well. They're almost definitely holding their first place. Unless Jampo, Booger, and Avery pull off something miraculous we've never seen before, their lead is going to hold right now. But it's chaotic. Paper and Haz on the high ground. Now, this doesn't shake up the leaderboard at all, because like I said, that team is right down the bottom. But there is pride points for them. They need to prove that, hey, we've had some rough times on Spawn, but we're a phenomenal team, and if we fix that up, this is what we can do with it. As Scented, Edgy, and Commandment looking to hit their rotate, I see a bounce pad. I don't see any kind of shockwaves or crash pads, and this is a difficult last zone, Monster. We've asked a lot of these teams. They've had 12 games, 11 before this to prove their worth, and now they have their final game, and it's a tough one. It was a Dirty Dog zone. They had to survive getting through all the factories, all the builds, and now the complete polar opposite. It is open air out here. There is nothing to hide behind. There is nowhere to go but towards the next zone, and if you don't have the mobility, you're gonna have to play this so smart.
Yeah, definitely. You can see the layer change here. They do not want to be on that water layer where all the players that are desperate with no HP, with no material, those are the guys that you want to avoid in this situation. So they're going right on up to stay away. Ooh. And no, Aspect falls. This is so big because Zuni's and NPen, they're so close to making top 15. That might be the end of it. We'll see if the rest of them can clutch up, but that was a massive elimination. NPen is still alive. You can see him rotating there. Pulsonics, Larson, and Oliver trying to do the same as well. They need more points. They haven't gotten anything this game, and they're just literally just on top 15 as they
take down Zuni's.
Oh, that's so bad.
That's massive. They're in 13th place. It's bad for Zuni's, but it's great for Larson. This team was in 13th place, so not only is it elimination and the points they need to get that top 15, it's on other teams that are around them, and those sways matter so much. As Larson looking a little bit shambles here, doesn't have the best loot, gonna try and pick up another elimination onto Zate. That's an extra point, and points are gonna mean everything. 3 to 5 points will be such a huge jump up on the leaderboard. They're 45 below. They played this game so passive. They need all the damage they can get. This is not a other team we've talked about dominating the low ground, but they're trying to do it here. They're trying to channel their inner XZ and see what they can do as they push down as the zone keeps pulling lower and lower. Larson has the harpoon. They need a refresh. He has 2 builds to his name. No, 0 builds, 2 limbs. Make it 3. Unfortunately, Pulsonics goes down. Oliver's there as well. Larson, the team is on your back. Can you make it? Can you clutch up the qualification and get the top 15? He's got the purple pump in hand. 30 white tag he does. Another elimination. 3 on board for Larson. Can he make it 4?
No way!
This player is doing so much. He's coming out of nowhere and he's showing why he is top 15 and he deserves it.
So clean with it as well. Take a look at the exit play right there. Either way, he's put up so much for his team. So valuable. Oliver is still alive somewhere. He's trying to get to his teammate. There's enemies underneath him now as well. It is not looking good for Larson, but what can you say? He's put up such a performance so far. Can he get more is the real question here now.
Does he need more is also the question. He's done so well. This team was on 13th. They're only 2 places clear of top 15. And there's a lot of eliminations. We saw a lot of those teams still alive. And he's gotten so many eliminations. But other than points, he hasn't got much for it. He's given some material to Oliver, who needs to help him out right now. Oliver has the health and shield advantage. He's been the firepower so far. Larson's put the team on his back. Let's see what Oliver can do. He's gotten him to this point. He's got the banish cannon, though. So this could still be doable. We have 6 teams alive with 15 players. And NPen's gone down as well, so that was their last chance. That could have been enough. They were just outside in 16th, so I don't know if that's going to be enough to get top 15.
Yeah, that was going to be close. Definitely close there, but hey, he picked up some points.
Oh.
Larson's still alive somehow. He gets tagged by the energy rifle. That Banish Bazooka being a difference maker. Just a little bit of extra points there. The little bit of HP. All his final builds now are going just to stay and keep Oliver alive. They're going to layer change now as well. These are the final zones. This is literally the qualifying run for Larson, Pulsonics, and Oliver to make it the Heat. Oh my gosh! The double follow-up. The left and right. And another one. Can he do it again? I asked if he can do more, and he does. My gosh.
Oh, Larson is a machine. He's showing why we need to pay attention and why sometimes it's the players that are around that qualification point that have the most to say, that have the loudest voices at the very end, as has Chaotic and Paper also at the very bottom of this leaderboard, coming in at 32nd and trying to clean up and clear out this game. Massive performance from Booger's team, hopefully holding him in 2nd place. He takes down Chaotic, gets the finish. Booger, can you do this as well? We've seen all the power coming out of Larson, an unknown player that I previously haven't watched. Booger, a player you've definitely heard of, your solo World Cup champion, happy to do something. He takes down Paper.
What?
Paper goes down to the Storm. It's a 1v1 right now. It's Booger versus Haz. He has the bandages. He doesn't have the health or shield advantage. If Haz just sits up there, he wins, but he's peeking. He might leave himself exposed, and no, you have your 32nd place team making endgame once out of all 12 games and winning it.
Spots. Now we do know Zayt, Saf, Stretch, them at the top, they are your overall winners here for week number 2. That does not mean they get active champions, of course. That just means they walk away with the bragging rights.
Day Miro in reverse, another low ground trio, 6th place overall. So many more though. Reese, this was an insane showing of performance of skill.